Introduction. Welcome to Media Pod Smash. Today's episode is going to be semi-scripted and another motivational series for you. So I'm trying something very different today, and I'm going to be running on a treadmill. I figured the lesson that we can learn this week, if it doesn't work out, is trying new things no matter what happens. You always want to stretch yourself. You always want to keep growing personally, taking on new challenges, seeing what you can do, and learning. So that's what we're going to do today, and that's my excuse if it doesn't work. So the other reason I'm doing this is it's a dedication. Well, not dedication. I mean, it's kind of sounding like he's not around anymore. He's definitely still around, but it's tribute, dedication, whatever you want to call it, to David Goggins, because he's a really inspirational dude. If you haven't heard of him, you may have stumbled across some of his speeches and some of those compilation videos on YouTube of motivational speeches. He's one of those ultra marathon runners, over hundreds of miles for each marathon. He started off in a pretty rough background, very rough childhood, abusive family. He kind of worked his way into getting into the Air Force, which he served there for a while, and then he went after the Navy SEALs. He went through the UD SEAL training 3 times, failing a couple times because of injury, and he also struggled because he was diagnosed with I believe it was sickle cell trait, which prevented him from doing things right off the bat. I'm probably butchering a lot of this guy's life story, but the point is, he's a really inspirational, badass dude, and I highly recommend checking out his book. It's called Can't Hurt Me. Definitely will reveal a lot more information than I can tell you here. So that's the point. The point is, I'm going to run. I'm going to show people that you can do it too. Oh, and also I forgot to mention, he's done running videos like this too outside. And I know Justin wanted me to do my running outside, but man, let's just be happy that we could get the indoor thing going. If this goes well, though, you can bet your ass I'll be outside in public doing this. So, also, a few Media Pod Smash announcements. We got some Halloween content, of course, that we're cooking up every week. And they, of course, announced the countdown to our official Halloween countdown. So in September, we're going to be sharing a lot of trailers and some promotional things and maybe some giveaways. So check out all the things coming out about that soon. Alright, so that's all. Here we go. Part 1. The most, quote, athletic, unquote, kid ever. So, when I was a young person, I was not very healthy at all. I ate like shit and really wasn't all that disciplined. I wasn't involved really in any sports. I remember having a lot of LAN parties with my friends as a lot of middle school, but sometimes it kind of flowed over into high school a little bit too with those habits. I would get these Mountain Dew, those giant cubes, the big cases, and we'd polish all those off in one night of our Halo sessions, and we'd stack them to the ceiling, and like, holy shit, just one of those now would be like, ugh, gross. But I don't turn my nose up at people that like to drink Mountain Dew, because I still have a bit of energy drink thing going on. So, look, I'm not being all preachy and judgmental, but my point is, back when I was a kid, my habits were very rough in terms of nutrition and wellness. So, after a while, I actually did want to do some sports. I wasn't very athletic early on, and it's kind of like a running joke, but there were times that I did want to do sports. I remember probably around maybe end of elementary into middle, I watched this martial arts demonstration at the library. It was like a community thing, and I was like, holy shit, this is awesome. Like, maybe I could do this. And back in those days, my mom was a bit overprotective, and she didn't want me to get hurt doing those kind of things. And I don't blame her. I was pretty uncoordinated. She was probably watching me going like, yeah, this dude is gonna definitely hurt himself. But so I don't blame her. But it was one opportunity missed there. And then toward the beginning of high school, thought about doing football. And again, it was just another concern from my mom. And again, I don't blame her. You got CTE, and knowing my coordination and skills at the time, and especially my conditioning, I would have probably quit anyways. But there's a second missed opportunity, and I wonder what would have happened if I had gone for either of those. So that was kind of what led me into college, and then those lack of athletic skills stuck and continued over into young adulthood. I kept eating whatever I wanted, and I was pretty inactive still, but luckily I did go on a lot of walks, which still continues to this day. And my past jobs, as much as it sucked working retail, I was always on my feet, and that helped a lot. And even before then, I had a census job for the government, and so I walked a lot during those days. I think from the span that I started that job to the end of it, I probably lost like 5 pounds just doing that. And it helped build a tougher skin for me, because a lot of people are dicks, but that's a different story. So anyways, as college continued, you guys kind of know the story of the unhealthy habits there. A lot of drinking, substances, and a continuing life of unhealthiness and habits. So the first round of healthy lifestyle that I really tried was keto, and this was after the summer that I was starting to really let myself go as far as weight and with the booze went. And so keto was like one of the first things that helped me slim back down. And it actually, if you're wondering if it works, I mean, it does, but it's not very fun in my personal experience. You don't really, I mean, some of the best foods are carbs, like pastas, pizza. I mean, do you want me to keep going? Because I could. Anyways, so it was kind of like one of those things that helped in the moment, but I knew for me personally would not be a long-lasting thing, and I needed to get a little more serious than that if I was going to keep this up. Part 2, it's never too late. So my first major running happened in around 2019 when I decided to quit doing nicotine, and I needed that outlet for my pent-up rage and other feelings. So in addition, to the workouts, I ran, and it wasn't easy, but we'll get into that too. It wasn't my first bout with running. I mean, there were some flashes in the past. I remember as a kid doing track day. We only had to do a mile, but man, it felt like, geez, hundreds of miles. Okay, I'm going a little overboard here, but as a kid who was very unathletic and unconditioned, it was torture. I don't even know what my time was. I mean, if I had to guess here, I'd probably say like 13, 14 minutes, 15, who knows, somewhere around there. Maybe even like around the 20-minute mark. I wouldn't put it past me. But I remember one of the big track days we had, we had some events prior to the mile, and it was kind of like a huge field day sort of thing, and people were very supportive, even as I reached the end of my mile. And I actually remember people that probably didn't even know me all that well were cheering. So whether or not the teacher forced them to or not, I mean, that's cool. So what else? There was the pacer. That was another fun conditioning activity that was, I mean, I don't know if they still do that, but it was basically you could run back and forth in the gym, and the gaps get smaller and smaller because the time starts to decrease as the music continues on, and it was sort of like last man standing. they sort of were revolutionary in the battle royale style of games. So I was never really quick on getting that one. It was probably like one of the first few people out, but I did what I could. So as I got older and into those college days, there was some other flashes. I tried using apps. It was this really cool game called Zombies Run, where it used your location data and it kind of added some sound effects to make it seem like you were in a zombie movie. So, that was a kind of a cool motivator for a nerd, but it wasn't really enough. It wasn't enough to keep me going. Didn't have good enough reasons. So, it was just one of those flashes. So, here's how it goes now. Now, I try to run at least 2 times a week. Sometimes 3, sometimes 4, depending on how I'm feeling. I've got a routine now. There's still good days and bad days. There's some days where you wake up and you're like, all right, let's take this on. And of course, I'm not gonna lie, it's not all easy. There's still always bad days when you get up and you're like, geez, the last thing I want to do is put these shoes on and run. But you've done it before, and you know how you're gonna feel when you're done. Like, let me tell you about that. I'm sure you're familiar if you're listening to this, with the feelings that come with activity. Everyone, come on. Unless you're just I don't know, never going outside in your life, but you know what I mean. It's just that feeling of going out and you can just clear your mind and your brain. And I'm not going to say it's a cure-all, because of course it's not, but and I was a little skeptic of these things. Like I said, I was very inactive, but it really does make a difference. And I guess what really kept me going when I started running in 2019 was, like I said, the routine, but also the reasons why. I got stronger reasons, and I started to learn that it does get easier. So here's some big takeaways. Running might not be what you want to do, but maybe you want to get more active, maybe you want to lose weight. My biggest piece of advice for you is just jump in. You don't need to plan all this stuff. You don't need all this prep work. You don't need new shoes. You just need yourself and 30 minutes of time. I think you could carve out 30 minutes if you really care about your health. I really believe you can. And just, another thing is to not expect to just be some super athlete right away, and don't be discouraged if you're not going as far as you had imagined right away. When I first started running, I would be happy to just make it around the block. That was a huge win for me. And then as I started getting more comfortable with it, you just keep adding a few more laps, and the neighbors get to know you as that crazy fucking guy that just keeps running in circles and almost gets hit by cars all the time because his earbuds are blasting. But it doesn't matter, because you're in your zone and you're improving every week. And I guarantee you, if you keep at it, don't get discouraged, you are going to improve. You will see dramatic results. I'm telling you. It seems like it's so far off when you're first doing it, but time flies, and you'll get to the end of a calendar and you'll be like, man, that was me. I started off a little shaky, but here I am. I'm doing marathons all over town. And some other tips: stretch. It seems so obvious, but stretching is so important. I miss a lot of stretch time due to my own lack and laziness. I'm not gonna say I'm so great about it either, but it's so important, especially as you get older. You can pull something like that, and then what? Then what are you gonna do? Just arm stuff, chest stuff? Come on, you gotta keep this whole package going. So stretch it out. The other really obvious tip of the week: hydration. Stay hydrated, especially in these summer, hot, crazy ass, humid days. Keep that hydration going. Learn from my boy TV12. Part 3: Inspirational Person of the Week and Homework. So I know it seems like kind of a double dip cop out here, but I mean, I think the inspirational person of the month should be David Goggins. Like I said, he's got a fascinating story, and if you're ever feeling really low on energy one day, you just type in David Goggins speech and that dude will get you going. He's got a hardened, calloused mind. He's got a lot of great tips, positive attitude. He's a warrior, man. So that's who I'm going to give it up to this month. So as for the homework, how did you do? Did you start to drop some bad habits and pick up some new ones? I hope so. I'm not going to lie. It was rough for me. I was kind of expecting to come back on here and be like, my sleep is dramatically improved and I wake up in the morning, I don't hit snooze, I don't night eat, but it hasn't happened yet. It's not, there's a lesson. You just got to keep going. I'm not gonna let it get me down. I'm gonna acknowledge that it didn't work like I had first originally planned, so I'm gonna have to tweak my routines a little bit. Maybe start winding down a little earlier, see what I could add in there or subtract to just really make this thing work. And you'll get there. Just if it didn't work out for you, it's not too late. You've got time, but just stay focused and keep looking at your calendar or your phone app and track your results. I guarantee the good days you'll cherish. And you'll be so happy you did the things you were supposed to do. So I'm going to keep going on mine. I'm going to keep trying to improve my sleep habits, and I'm going to get there. And I'll keep you updated on how that's going. So this week, or this month rather, your homework is to get active. Obviously. I mean, come on, what else were you expecting here for this week? It doesn't have to be running. Whatever you enjoy, maybe just go on a walk. I just think activity is so helpful. And I'm not like even some nut job, or maybe I seem like it, but I really am not. I'm just telling you from experience. I've lived a life without it, and I've lived a life with it, and there's a huge difference. I'm telling you, this is the one you want. So just get out there, try to go for 20 minutes a day. See what you can do. Throw a ball around, go on a walk your dog, whatever it takes. When you'll come home, you can feel good that you put some time in and dedicated some time to yourself and improving your life. And, that can pay dividends into other things. It starts with that one little thing. Then next thing you know, you're putting out weekly podcasts and you're running on a treadmill in front of a bunch of people online or whatever it is you want to do. Your hobbies can start to spiral. You'll start to feel good about yourself. You'll make your bed. Whatever that great life looks like to you. Like all these things can just start to spiral once you start the good one. So just get active. Part 4, run after it. So this last part, I'm just going to try to keep motivating you. Look, like I said, running for me, it happened later in life. I wasn't always like this. The barrier to entry it's so low. It's almost non-existent. I mean, people think they need all this stuff. They get all nervous. They're like, oh man, what if I don't do it right? If you can put one foot in front of the other, then you can do it. It's really a journey of will and determination. I mean, when I first started out, I got a little discouraged. I mean, I didn't think I could ever get up to the point where I'm at now, but it unfolds over time. And I think my fastest, or I'm sorry, not fastest, but the longest I've ever gone now is, I believe, around 9 miles. That's my record. And then, it really wasn't that long to get there. It's just a lot of consistency. Like I said before, too, in the other episode, consistency is the tunnel to greatness. And like I said this also before, it's not just about the running. It can be anything in your life. It's starting out the small, little, tiny parts that you can work out on your own and know you can get there. And it'll start to get easier over time, and with your consistency, you'll unlock a great life. So you don't have to be the same again today. After this is over, you can get out there right now. Hell, you should even put this on maybe while you're going on a run. Use my BPMs. Let's go. All right. So I guess that's about the point where we're gonna wrap this up, because now I'm just starting to make noises. But I'm jacked, man. I mean, this is what it's all about. It's like, I don't know where this is all gonna go, but it's the most consistent year I've ever had, and man, if I can get there, you can get there. I'm telling ya, it's not just bullshit. It's not fucking bullshit. I'm telling ya, you got this. So, okay, you pot smash off. Today's show is sponsored by Seasons of Life Memorials.
Have you recently lost a loved one and want to hold on to their memory forever? Would you like all of the world to be able to view what their life had been about? Seasons of Life Memorials is what you are looking for. We create individual and unique documentary shorts that will allow anyone visiting the gravesite to view the documentary and your memories of the loved one. Contact us today to set up an appointment at seasonsoflifememorials.com.